Let us see where adventure goes on this week's Crit Sandwich. Welcome to Crit Sandwich, the world's tastiest D&D podcast. Crit Sandwich is 4 friends playing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons with random settings and plots. We will use adult language. We do edit lightly for brevity and to make us look super fast at math. And of course, we will screw up the rules. This is our 2nd episode of our first campaign. I am your host and dungeon master, Casey Sears. To my left, we have Matt Popich. Matt, tell us about your character, just in general vagaries.
Yeah, he's drunk.
The character.
The character is drunk.
Okay.
Most of the time, he's a drunken master. So, human, like a bowl cut, wearing friar robes, like brownish friar robes, and a bit of a gut, a little bit out of shape. Because, hey, why be in shape when it's a utopia and there's no threat? So that's our Friar Ruck.
And directly across from the table is Chuck Ventus. Chuck, tell me about yourself and your character in vague terms.
Van Verity, also known as V, Wood Elf Ranger, tall, slender, very chill, knows a lot about monsters, used to live back in the day before the utopia, so.
And to my right, Robbie Robert Ponder. Tell us about your character.
I play Reid Harpman. He's a bard. It's harp, like playing harp, if you didn't catch that. And that's a road around here in Cincinnati, Reid Harpman Highway, in case anyone caught that from Cincinnati.
I caught it.
People outside of Cincinnati may not get it.
Nope. Local joke, local humor. For the locals.
Suck on that, everyone else in the world.
Yeah.
Get that joke.
So, last night was actually, I don't feel like I want to roll for story or anything. We've done that in previous campaigns.
I always lose anyway, so it's like...
Yeah. So, let's just say that yesterday you guys arrived to an island called Planos. It is an island that caused a thing called the Great Banishment. The Great Banishment removed every sort of scary monster from the world. And this is where the Great Banishment happened, where they cast the big spells that removed all the monsters. But the people that created the Great Banishment decided it would be a good idea to bring some of the monsters back as part of an amusement park. And you guys are all priests in a school on basically a church field trip out to the park. And the first, you guys really haven't seen anything. You just got there, you had dinner, you went through the first museum learning about the history of the island. Louise Harpman, which is Robbie's character's cousin, showed you around a bit. And now it is the morning, and Louise Harpman is at the hotel with you, and she is wanting to bring you to meet Rupert Klinko, the gnome wizard who is in charge of things. And he was a student a very, very long time ago at your temple, long before any of you were alive.
Right on.
So, you guys enjoy your continental breakfast. The children are like into...
Omelets to order?
Yeah, omelets to order.
Oh, yeah.
The children are like, I'm going to take this cereal, and I'm going to mix it with that cereal, and I'm going to mix it with that cereal, and then it's going to be the best.
I'm secretly jealous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
As an adult?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
What's a good mixture you recommend?
It's usually when I get down to the bottom part of a cereal, and then I've got the new one. I did fruit... can I say it? Yeah. Fruit Loops and Captain Crunch Berries once. Mixed together.
I was worried you weren't going to say it for no reason.
Were you thinking about like being worried as like a legal reason? Like,
Yeah,
we don't have
that's
the
why.
rights to say the words of breakfast
That's
cereal.
why I was like, can I not say it?
I think
But
it's cool to talk about brands.
Is it like free advertisement, I guess? I mixed the two
it's-
together was good. So,
So we're open to legal advice. If you guys hear this and you're like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that, we'll not do
We're
it again.
absolutely not. Let's continue.
Okay.
You guys, you leave, you obviously at this point you're leaving all your bags. You decided to go check out the exhibit.
as we're on our way to the exhibit, I would bring it up to Louise what I saw in the night while you guys are standing around as well.
Good choice.
Louise, I was up in the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep. I saw one of those scrappy druids climbing on the lift area. It seemed out of the ordinary, but is that normal?
Oh, they handle many things all over the island. I'm sure it was absolutely fine. Wait, is she more twangy and southern than she was
she's
there?
church lady.
Okay.
She's Dana Carver church lady.
right.
Dead on.
Okay. I can't remember. Sometimes I slip into twang when I do character voices just in general.
Okay.
Reid will ask her, ma'am, well, is it okay if I bring my banjo with me? I love carrying it around with me.
Well, as long as it doesn't incite any of the monsters, I don't see it being an issue.
Okay, thank you. I'll make sure I don't hit anyone with it.
Hit anyone? What?
No, because it's so bulky. When I turn corners and people are standing next to me, and it might accidentally tap them with it. Not like I'd hit anyone with a weapon. We are in a utopia. It's not a weapon. It's a banjo.
You guys have decided to go see the Everyday Monsters exhibit, which is the grasslands and the hills and the forest. That's kind of very central to the island. But before that happens, you guys get walked over to a big, beautiful tower right in the middle of Plano City. And it is just columns and glass and marble and just a very, very, very stunning building. Go through, front desk, and you end up in a lift, and the lift pulls you all the way up to one of the top floors, and it is the office of Rupert Klinko. The elevator doors open, and you step out into a space that just smells like old books. And there are just tons, it's like almost like you walked into a library. Big leather furniture, tons and tons of bookshelves.
Oh man, this is Reid's favorite smell, is the smell of books. Yeah, the pages and everything. That's his favorite smell, because usually he spends some times in the library studying.
And coming around the corner is a tiny, shriveled man in a chair it's a wheelchair with a very, very tall, high back, because another one of these constructs, a humanoid construct, is pushing it around. And the lumpy thing with the lumps of fabrics that you assume that is in the middle of this chair, you assume is Rupert Klinko. It's, velvet clothes, wiry white hair, big old gnome ears, giant bulbousy nose, hair growing out of his ears, out of his nose, just like completely unkept, pointy nails, just kind of this weird old lump of a human, lump of a gnome being pushed towards you.
He's being pushed like
Yeah, he's in a wheelchair.
He's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah, a humanoid construct is pushing the wheelchair towards you. Welcome. And the kids are kind of frightened at first, but then they're like almost laughing, because he's very, he's very, just silly and animated, and he starts reaching out his first hand to the first student and shaking hands, going one by one, and being like, oh, that's nice to meet you. I went to the same school as you did many many, many years ago. It is such a pleasure to meet. It's just a pleasure to meet all of you.
So Friar Ruck would basically see this as like someone blessed directly by Ogma. Like this, I don't know if it would be like per se Jesus level, but this is somebody that he would deem like you were touched by Ogma to affect the entire world. So he would be ecstatic to like shake his hand. Like would be, you know, children, give him a hug. Everyone, this is Ogma's champion. You have to meet him and shake his hand.
And as you're saying, he's like, oh, Ogma be praised. Ogma be praised.
Yeah, if any of the kids were, because you said that they were laughing at first, if any of the kids were getting rowdy and showing any disrespect, I would kind of cut it short there. Children, show respect. This is Rupert Klinko, a member of the Church of Ogma.
Rupert pays special attention to a young gnome named Plem Willie, who is one of the students. And Plem is just she's this tiny, tiny, I don't think I've described hardly any of the students at all. She is a tiny, tiny little gnome. She has a button nose, and she has frizzy red hair, and she has a teeny tiny voice, and she doesn't talk a whole bunch, but with Rupert, she's like, thank you very much, I'm so excited, it's so good to be here, and she's just so excited, she's like vocalizing in a way that you guys really haven't heard, because she mostly talks through her best friend, Broly, who is a little dwarf in the class. And eventually, after going through all of the students, Rupert gets to you guys. First, he shakes Reid Harpman's hand.
Sir, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to meet you. Well done here. Well done.
I see a resemblance to a Mr. Hartman from long ago. Are you related, young man?
I've heard that my great-grandfather Clem was a member here.
Yes, I remember him fondly. He lived a long life and passed just a few years back.
A few years, like just 2 years ago?
No, a few a few years for me is about 20.
Ah, indeed.
He set the timing on the dimensional engine for each and every creature we displaced. We called him the human metronome.
Now, I'm curious of how he got the nickname Metrodome, sir. Can you elaborate more on that?
Metronome?
Dome.
He was an absolute genius. He would set the timing of the engines. Every single monster had a beat. And the beat syncopated up with the displacement engine, and he timed and calibrated all of that. Oh, I bet the apple didn't fall far from the tree. If you end up in the old seaside villa, find a caretaker. They may have stored his belongings, and I see no issue giving them to you.
Oh, why, thank you, sir.
Oh.
It sounds like Ogma was with him.
Oh, Ogma was with him. Ogma be praised.
I go up and shake his hand.
Oh, I hear you were quite the monster hunter.
Yes, I used to hunt these beasts back in the day. You've done a fabulous job so far from what I've seen. I'm looking forward to seeing your dragon's domain.
Of course. I'm so sorry we put you out of business. I kid. I still stand by what we do. When the world moves forward, people like you fall off the edge. Even if those people are friends and family, we must keep the world turning and doing the right thing, my dear boy. I hope you found purpose in the work you do now.
Life is like the seasons and constant change. We must change with it.
Whew, that sounds like one of your bonds or flaws on your character sheet.
That's my ideal.
Hey, that's pretty close. And then eventually lastly he gets to Friar
Ruck.
And he says, I hear the temple I grew up in is most known for the booze brewed there. I hope it doesn't impact the performance of the teachers and students. And he takes his little wood cane and pokes your belly.
So Friar Ruckus would be like shit, like whatever we're about to say, he would be shaking his arm like emphatically the entire time, just like so, like awestruck at how amazing this person is. And he'd probably laugh and say, oh, not there. But yes, it's that's me. I'm in charge of the booze. It's Ogma has blessed my booze making ability. Yes.
And he laughs kind of nervously, and then refers to the students and just gives a very brief inspirational speech about where he came from and how he grew up. When the goal is knowledge, the sky is the limits. And the kids all have smiles on their faces, and he dismisses all of you, and Louise beckons you back into the lift, and you guys ride down and go on about your adventure, about your day. So you guys get back down into the base of Plano City, and there are all kinds of things here. There's a theater, there's a second museum about just like a very broad museum about Planos itself. There are many shops, many restaurants, many places to stay, many places to sleep. There are some stores even for the locals, the descendants of the island who came down from the wizards who got rid of all of the monsters. But your guys' goal is everyday monsters. Mm-hmm. And you hop on three different carriages drawn by constructs, the same one that brought you there. And you go down the winding hill into grasslands, and you cross over a bridge. You start seeing signs for exhibits that are just off the path. Some are, let's see, we got kobolds, we got goblins, we got more kobolds, cockatrice, we got hobgoblins, gnolls, jackals, wargs. I mean, just everything you could ever imagine that was kind of like manticores, face spiders, werewolves, all kinds of monsters as you're going down the hill. And you start swinging by some of these exhibits. Some of the more aggressive monsters, like a werewolf, are like pretty close to the road, and you see them walk up, and they've been there for a while. And a werewolf, he takes his claws and hits the magical barrier, the magical bubble that he's in, and just scrapes them across it. And you kind of guys see light. I mean, it looks like he's putting his claws into nothing, but then light kind of appears around his fingers as he drags his claws around, and he just howls up at the sky. And all of the kids are like, and they're like grabbing onto each other, and they're kind of frightened.
It's all right, children. Remember what Louise said. They're trapped behind a bubble. There's nothing to fear.
You guys go to another bubble that is basically a goblin village, and they're just absolutely being asshats, and the kids are laughing, and the goblins are being ridiculous, and they're not, maybe in this setting, like the goblins are kind of just more chill. They've been here for a little while, and they're just having a good time and being ridiculous and goofy, and they're not exactly threatening at all. And the kids just absolutely love watching them like bash each other over the head, Three Stooges style.
Nice.
You get to some ogres on a hill who also, again, like another, little civilization. And, one of the ogres just sees you guys and just starts charging just straight at you, and then hits that bubble and then falls backward on his ass. And it was frightening for a second, then all the kids laugh, and then the ogre gets so mad that everyone's laughing at him, and he's swinging his club around and swinging up dirt and growling and yelling at you.
These are pretty scary creatures, V. These are everyday, like, common creatures that you'd run into when you'd adventure.
Yes, I've seen quite a few of these things. These are nothing to fear. Nothing like dragons, of course.
They're a lot uglier in person than they are in the books I've read about them.
You guys also get to another bubble that has some dinosaurs in it.
And now we make a baby dinosaur.
Is that from the DNA guy?
That's from the DNA guy.
DNA. Yeah.
And now we make a baby dinosaur.
So one of the students, Quan McKay, she is a skinny little kid, about 12 years old, a female human, dark eyes. She's an exchange student from Chult, or Cult.
Yeah.
Cult. And she says, "Oh my God. Look at the little children. Look at the little baby dinosaurs. My family made dinosaur babies, and we raised the dinosaurs on our island before the Great Banishment, and it was beautiful. And they were part of our family, and I always heard stories about the dinosaurs. It is so beautiful to see them in face in front of me." And she's just so excited and so just overjoyed.
Any of the dinosaurs that you see out there, ones that you used with your family? And the racing?
I don't know. It's been so long. And you guys see another kid named Cohen Riva, who's this dark, greasy-haired little emo kid with a pointy face. And he's sitting there, and he's just sketching everything you guys see. He's sitting there with his sketchbook, just drawing absolutely everything. You guys get to another exhibit, and it's kind of like there's a hill as you're going by it. You guys see just you know what? Actually, this one you guys would just be going through it, like it's a bubble that you're just, you guys as people that aren't brought into, you guys as people that aren't from a different plane can just go straight through the bubbles yourself. But the creatures that have been brought in can't go through because of like the weave of magic around them. Mm-hmm. So you guys go straight into a bubble, and it's...
We were told not to ever go in a bubble.
And you guys go straight into a bubble, and it is a Pegasus bubble. Oh. And there are horses running beside you and fly, and they just start, they start beating their giant wings and flying into the air. And one of the little girls, Cindy, she's about 13, female, human, just like the bright, energetic, she's the Hermione of the group. It's blowing her little, like, Lisa Frank mind. Like, she's just like, oh my God, oh my God, I can't believe it, I can't believe I've seen a Pegasus.
Calm down, it's okay.
So we're in, so this is like a safe bubble to be in, obviously.
Yes, yeah, Pegasus are not a threat.
I want to make a roll. Can I, studying like creatures and stuff, can I try and make a call towards the Pegasus to try and bring it over towards the group?
Oh, yeah, roll an animal handling or something.
Making...
Or speak with animals or something.
What's the sound, Robbie?
That was awesome.
16 total.
Nice.
That is good enough. Yeah,
Sweet.
You get one of those Pegasus over there, and you get that Pegasus right in front of Cindy, and you and her brush its face and pet it. And it's absolutely beautiful and noble and sweet, and it kind of nuzzles her shoulder, and You just won like a zillion Cindy points.
There you go. She'll remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys ride by some centaurs.
Centaurs.
Yeah. And then eventually you guys make it over to a hill with some ogres and you got some ogres on the left, some gnolls on the right, and they have their own little civilizations and villages and stuff. And you feel like the ground lightly just kind of shake underneath you. And you see deep inside the bubbles that the gnolls and the ogres are in, you see and hear an explosion.
Whoa.
Okay, so you have 3 carts. There are 10 people. Or 11 people. I imagine
4, 3, 3.
All of the adults in the same front cart.
I don't think so.
4, 4, 3.
Yeah, but I think we would have an adult with.
I think we'd have an
cart.
adult with each cart.
Yeah,
I would think so
I would
too.
agree.
Yeah, to have the
Who's in the
adult
front
with the
cart
kids.
with Louise?
Reid. I think Reid would be with
I
his
agree.
cousin. I'm looking at her with a big smile on my face. Nothing's happening right now.
And
Everything's going right.
The ground shook, and you saw 2 explosions on both sides.
I'm not smiling.
It's like you're smiling?
Is this part of the ride?
Let's get out of here. She whips the constructs, because the constructs are, pretty similar to real horses. And she whips them and starts moving forward, and she yells back at the 2 carts behind her. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Move, 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 move.
Does it start raining?
No.
Okay, perfect.
It's still...
So the constructs are
Still a
moving on their
beautiful, clear
own.
sky.
Would we need to take the reins or whatever, I guess?
Whoever...
So I guess Matt and I, since
Yeah.
we're the adults, would take the reins of our carts, and
I'll be in the second cart with 3 kids.
Okay.
I'll be in the 4th. Or the
So-
3rd with 4.
When we turned around, would Reid's
Matt
cart
Sarge.
would Reid's cart be in the back now? If we're all turning around,
No, you guys are charging forward.
charging forward, so that'd be the quickest way to get out of here.
Yes.
Would be forward.
Louise says, let's get to the Grasslands Museum.
We don't know where that is, ma'am.
We'll
It's
follow.
down this it's down this trail.
Luckily, you're driving.
And as she's saying that, one of the ogres who was kind of like at the barrier giving you guys shit, just kind of like clubbing on it and yelling at you, he swings his club where there used to be a wall, and it just goes right through, and he looks down at it, and the ogre looks at his hand, and he looks at his club, and he just looks forward. He pokes it forward to like test it, and then he takes a step, and then takes a step, and as you guys are starting to get some distance at this point, he just starts booking it. He just starts like running and charging forward, and he yells something back to some of the other ogres. And the gnolls on the other side see him and also run out into the street. And then they actually just start clashing and fighting and smashing on each other as your carts move up the road towards the museum.
Louise, what other everyday creatures are in front of us that we will be going through before we get to the Museum of Everyday Creatures?
I think you should have a little bit more panic in your voice.
Reid is always mellow tone. The only time he expresses emotion is when he's playing music.
So as you ask that, you both kind of are looking up and forward and ahead, and you see columns of smoke very lightly coming up from all over the island. From just like all around where you're at least, as far as you can see. She says, I don't know, but I don't have a good feeling about this.
Am I able to pull my construct up towards her, or is it...
Yeah, you can...
Noticing, like, what's...
Sure.
We need to get to a safe area quickly. Where's the nearest safest facility?
There's a Grasslands Museum that's up ahead. We can go there.
All right, lead us there.
All right.
V, how dangerous are these creatures? Can't I just go out and
No
talk
time.
to them?
Ah!
Can't I just talk to them and reason with them before we have to...
There's no time. Didn't you see them killing each other back there, Reid? Come on, man. Ka-cha! Ka-cha!
You guys make it down through the winding trail for a while. Up ahead, you see placed on the top of a hill, like a small, subtle, smooth hill. You see a facility and a couple of other smaller buildings, which you assume is the kind of the museum about plainsland creatures and hill creatures. And as you're going up the path and you start getting close to it, standing in the middle of the road is a Cyclops. It's standing there. It's a huge, almost naked creature, and it has its giant club dragging behind it in one hand, and in the other hand, it has a Pegasus that's had its wings ripped out and is just kind of a half-eaten bloody carcass at this point.
It's messed up.
And it slams its club into the ground.
Does it see us?
Yes.
We gotta avoid...
Who's in the first cart and what do you do?
Chucky, did you take point? Did V take point?
No, because What's-Her-Face is leading us to the area, so you're in the first cart.
Okay. Reid will look back at V in terror. Like...
Friar Ruckus will say, Luis, what do you know about this creature? How can we get around?
Poor Cindy, the girl, is seeing the Pegasus that's been, ripped from limb to limb. She's like, oh my god.
Yeah, Cindy will be in my group, and I'll like give her a hug and like put her against my side so that she doesn't actually see it. I mean, she already saw it. It can't be unseen, but I'm gonna comfort her.
Can I do a perception check to see the area around the road? Is it something that we could travel in with the constructs, or do we have to go down the path?
It's plains. You can probably go off-roading pretty easily.
Go around it. We have the speed.
The Cyclops chucks the carcass of the Pegasus at the first cart. And it just flies right kind of like by the side. But you guys have speed on him, but he's definitely going to start running, and the cart in the rear, he's going to be able to catch up and take a swing at the constructs, or at least the back of it. Who's in the rear cart is...
It's me. Why are you pointing?
Yeah. So he takes a swing at the rear cart and misses you guys. Whew. Just coming down right in front of it. He wasn't able to catch up in time.
Keep going.
He screams and kind of just yells something kind of unintelligible in some language you're not familiar with.
That's right, I'm not.
You guys rush and race to a building that actually it kind of looks like the Museum of Natural History, in the sense that it looks like a hangar. Oh, like nice. It's very long. It's marble, a lot of stained glass on the ceiling, and you guys pull up in front of it and dash inside. And Louise locks the doors and suggests that you guys start barricading them as she goes to the two receptionists behind the counter and tells them what's going on.
That's what I was thinking. Barricade that.
Yeah, do these receptionists have any information? Like, is there some sort of internal communication that they would have, maybe?
I don't know. An island of wizards, I guess they would have probably speaking stones.
Or sending.
Yeah, sending or something. They would actually hear, but all they would say is, all we've heard is that there's been explosions everywhere and the monsters are getting out.
I would gather the children up and trying to calm them down. Just say, like, that they've, it's all right. I'm sure that they've planned for something like this and they're prepared to handle anything that happens. So just stay calm. We'll get out of this.
I bet it's a competing theme park. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Reid will say, well, you saw the creatures, they were attacking each other. It's just a matter of time before their instincts will just kill each other out, and then we'll be able to leave when there'll only be a few monsters left.
You would hope.
Louis says, I mean, we might be here for weeks if that happens.
I was going to say, Friar Ruckus's thought process is that the strongest are going to win out over the time, and therefore we're in a worse case if we stick around. It'd be better to go while they're fighting each other.
Is this in every zone?
She asks one of the receptionists, and they say, as far as we're aware, yeah, there's been explosions in a couple different parks.
Has the dragon's domain been affected?
I mean, we assume so.
That's not good.
Would the dragons pose a threat even though they're so far away in the northern part of the island?
Dragons can fly, my friend. They can travel anywhere.
Can they travel off the island? Louise. Question, ma'am.
Can they travel off the island? I would assume they could. They can fly, but...
Can they travel off the island, ma'am?
I mean, I don't know if a dragon can fly for a few days, but perhaps they could.
I think we need to worry about the smaller picture here of getting these children and ourselves safely off the island or out of here.
So, as you say that, crashing through the stained glass ceiling is a beast that has a vaguely humanoid head, the body of a lion, the wings of a dragon, and a bristling mane that stretches down its back to a tail that has long, deadly spikes on it. Louise says, Manticore!
We need to get the hell away from this thing.
Luis, what are its weaknesses?
No, wait, I got it.
So right after you say that,
Does it like riddles?
She points over to a display, and there are 6 different cases that are full of items. So everyone needs to pick 2 different pieces of equipment that are in those cases that are designed to kill any sort of hill creature or grasslands creature. Something that's designed to kill trolls or gnolls or manticores or goblins or whatever. Or just like traditional adventuring gear. It could just be like, oh, here's a display of what the armor looked like back 100 years ago that adventurers used to use. It could literally be any sort of mundane or uncommon magic item. Don't get too crazy. Don't get too rare. Don't get like there's not like gonna be a scroll of wish to kill these things. But let's take a minute and figure out what kind of items might be in these cases, or what kind of suits of armor, or whether it's just a net, or figure it out and let me know what there is to kill some grassland creatures.
So 2 each, basically?
Yeah, basically 2 each. There's 6 different, there could be even some potions, or like a flask of oil or anything.
Weapons, right?
Weapons, yeah.
Weapons.
Yes, there could be a sword. There could be, a basic long sword or a short sword or whatever it is that you think should be in a display case that your character could also possibly use. But I imagine that short rests are going to be like half an hour and long rests are going to be 4 hours. Just to kind of keep the pace up. All right, so I gave the players a chance to look up some items that might be in this museum for their characters if they're interested in breaking some cases. And I think we should just go ahead and roll for initiative.
17 for Friar Ruckus.
13.
Ooh. I rolled a 20.
Nice.
22 for Reid. Dang it, I got a...
The monster got 13.
I'm +4.
Oh, well, you know what? Actually, you know what we never defined here is who is my initiative tracker. Because I'm a lazy DM and I like to offload stuff to my players.
I'll do it again.
I was like, I'll do it.
Matt
Doesn't matter.
can keep it up.
It's pretty easy.
It is easy.
Wait, who comes first, me or this monster?
You guys will probably have a round before the Manticore gets to you if you want to break open any of those cases.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, a lot of them are just kind of open air. I won't even say they're behind glass. They're just open air. You can just grab the things off of the displays.
Wow. What is the Manticore's dexterity? I have to know because
+3.
Okay,
+4 for me.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Dex, baby.
All right. Robbie's up.
So it pops in from the ceiling. How much movement is that going to take to bust things open? Is that going to take an action?
You can take one turn. You don't have to bust anything open. You just can grab it. If it's armor, you do have to follow the actual rules for donning and doffing armor, which basically means like it takes a minute to 6 minutes. So you're not going to be able to equip any armor, but you might be able to pick up a shield. You might be able to pick up a sword. You might be able to pick up a bow. You might be able to put on a ring.
I can pick up 2 items or just one?
What are they?
Ring of telekinesis. I see a little ring with a little display and a nameplate underneath what the ring is.
Does the ring of telekinesis involve attunement? Yeah, so there is, you can't pick up things that are going to be better later than they are now.
It does say requires attunement.
I see on the nameplate that it requires attunement, and Reid doesn't know what that means.
It's a ring.
So I'm assuming you grab it and put it on your finger.
He puts it on his finger.
And you pray something happens, but you feel the power within the ring, but you don't understand it or how to control it.
Do I get to do anything else?
No, that would be your turn running to, because these displays are a bit up further into the museum.
All right. My turn is next. I will also run to the display and grab 2 things. One is another ring, and it is a ring of the ram. It's got a circle, obviously, ring, but at the top, it is like a ram's head, coming toward the wearer. It also requires attunement, so nothing's happening as of right now. And then I also grab a sword that I see, as I kind of, again, I've always kind of wanted to be, Friar Ruck's always wanted to be a hero. So that is.
I didn't know we could pick up 2 items.
Yeah, 2 items per person. Those 6 displays.
A sword that's labeled Flame Tongue, and then the little caption by it says, not very civilized. Many uncivilized races fear fire and ancient quote-unquote, adventurers would use fire on their weaponry to strike fear in the hearts of enemies.
Gotcha.
Is what it says. And he grabs it, and it like kind of lights a blaze as he holds it in his hands.
Awesome. Robbie, sorry, was there a second thing you wanted to grab that was next to that ring?
Yeah. As I run up and grab the ring, Reid definitely sees a loot scene there, and he picks that up as well, because this is where Luis pointed over to, and he sees a loot that attracts to him. It's called a Das loot.
Das loot.
Das loot.
How do you spell that?
Das.
DOSS.
Oh, LUTE.
All right, Matt. So next up on the list,
that, sir, would be the Manticore.
The Manticore dashes 100 feet closer towards you as it kind of dive bombs in to the museum.
The Manticore beat me.
That's what you rolled. You said 11. He said
13. I rolled a 13. We both rolled 13. I had a +4. He had a +3. Come on, man.
You had one job.
You had
one job.
Someone else can have it if they want.
But it doesn't matter. So the Manticore is not in striking range yet, regardless of what happens. But its next turn, it will definitely be able to move and strike one of you. As you've kind of all ran towards it in order to get these items and weapons and stuff. Mm-hmm. And the kids are cowering behind some of the displays and some of the behind the front desk. And the front door is being blocked by some of the things furniture and stuff that's up in the front of the building.
Is it looking like it wants to fight us, like the threats, or is it looking like it wants to eat the kids?
Right now it's dive bombing towards you because you're closest.
Okay, but it's in the air?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Chuck.
Cool. So since I'm going to have to use my action to pick up both my items, I see some elven chain on display. I grab that and throw it into my bag. And I also see, I like the effect of this. I don't know why. He's behind a glass case with some scripture at the bottom that's glowing in Elvish that reads, "Swift death to your enemies." And it's labeled Oath Bow at the top. I kick open the glass and grab the bow.
And next to the bow, there are 7 arrows.
Sweet.
Just kind of splayed out like a little pattern there.
I grab them.
All right, and top of the order is...
He's back.
So Reid picked up this stuff, and he doesn't know what to do with any of it. So I am going to tell the children to run to cover, get into another room or something. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure they're already running. I'm going to run as well, but as I'm running, I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers on him.
Does he roll a save for that? How's that work? What's it look like?
So Reid doesn't understand what's happening, and he's just going to curse them and sing it into words as he's saying, "You cursed beast, don't come toward us, so in the name of Nangma, I command you to leave." He's just whispered, and then it goes into this creature. It needs to make a DC Wisdom saving throw.
Busting out the big guns early, huh? That's a level 2 spell slot.
It is? It's a level 1 spell slot.
Dissonant Whisper?
Yeah.
Never mind.
I don't have level 2 spells yet.
The Manticore rolled a 4, so I'm assuming it failed.
Okay, so it takes 3d6 physical damage and flees.
Oh, there you go.
Wow, this is a level 1?
Yeah, I don't know if that's right.
Man,
It's on my bard spells right
that's
here.
really good. It flees? That's great.
Roll that damage.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
11 damage.
Yeah, so you say that to the Manticore, and it just kind of rears back as it's dashing in and screams and just starts flying back towards the hole it made. But as you see, as you're looking up towards the direction it's going, you also see another Manticore right up at the hole.
All right, we might need to run.
How about us a turn?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Are we close to an exit?
You guys are near the front of the building where the Cyclops was outside. But there is, if you go further down to the very back, again, it's like an airplane hangar. There are going to be some employee exits in the middle, but then like the main exit in the back.
So it's my turn. I'm going to ask Luis where she thinks we should go like after this. Like, what is our best route to get to safety?
I mean, I imagine the best route to get out would be taking one of the boats out off the island, but out of the building.
Where's the closest boat?
The closest boat would be south, back from the road down the road we came, but it's going to be full of goblins and trolls and ogres.
This lady's useless right now.
I mean,
not useless, but like,
yeah. Well, we don't want to go that way, I guess.
Okay, I'll tell you that Rupert has a chateau, a private residence, all the way in the northern tip of the island, where there's
Dragon's Domain.
Yes, beyond the Dragon's Domain, where there's sometimes he has zeppelins and sometimes he has boats there, but maybe that's another way out. But also, the best idea is probably to go south through the other boats.
He says, I'll say, okay, and I'm gonna open the door back out from where we came from and try and lead the kids that way.
Okay, out the front door.
Yeah, where we came from.
All right.
Is it barricaded or?
I don't think.
Did we ever
I don't think
barricade
we barricaded it. No.
You guys were starting. Some of the people were starting to barricade it, but
All
they
right.
didn't really get that far.
I don't know much about Manticores, but I don't know that we could handle two of them. Is kind of what I'm getting. So if that's the best way, then that's what I'm gonna try and get the kids
Sure.
toward. That's my turn. I don't know what it revolves from. But.
All right. Next up is Chuck, right? With V.
Well, I'm gonna also move in the direction of the doors to get the kids out and help with Friar Ruck to get everyone to safety. But as I'm doing it, I'm gonna use Hunter's Sense. This is one of the Monster Slayer abilities. So at 3rd level, you gain the ability to peer at a creature and magically discern how to best hurt it. So I'm going to use my action. I'm going to choose the Manticore, something I can see within 60 feet. I immediately learn whether the creature has any damage immunities, resistances.
Wait, did you say it's 60 feet?
Yeah. How far away is it?
They're like more than 100 feet away.
Oh.
They're actually probably like maybe 120 feet away because they were within striking range.
Okay. Well, I will. I'll still do what I'm gonna do. Head in the direction with Friar Ruck, and I'll use that as a delayed action if it gets within 60 feet to do that ability. So.
Okay. So yeah, the Manticore that was feared, does he have some sort of roll or anything, Robbie, to undo what you did to him?
I'm gonna have to look it up in the book. Doesn't say on here. Page 234.
Okay, so Dissonant Whispers, 3d6 Psychic, and must immediately use its reaction to move as far from the speed as speed allows. The creature doesn't move into any obviously dangerous ground on a successful save. That's it. So no, that was just it. It's scared for one turn and then it can do whatever it wants after that.
Okay, so now you have two Manticores that were both by the ceiling, and they fly 100 feet towards you. They both, actually, you know what, they'd be dashing, so they couldn't use their action. So now they are within about maybe 30, 40 feet of you, flying down into the museum that you're in.
All right. So now Hunter's Sense comes into play, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So basically, I immediately learn whether the creature has any damage immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities, and what they are. If the creature is hidden from divination magic, I sense that it has no damage Immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities.
It has no immunities or resistances. This is
Standard monster.
Yep.
All right.
Aim for the eyes.
Top of the order, Robbie.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're helping everyone run out.
Yeah, I'm helping everyone run out. Do I get outside? What do I see?
So you walk outside of the building and you see the Cyclops that you guys ran away from running towards you, and it is about, we'll say about 3 turns of combat away.
Do I see our mechanical horses anywhere?
Yes, they're just right in front of the building, right where you left them.
I'm gonna grab the kids and start throwing them in those carts.
Yeah, they're frightened and scared, and they're right along with you as you're tossing them into the different carts.
How fast can these things go? Do we know?
Actually,
I mean, faster than a Cyclops. We know that.
I don't think they can go faster than 100 feet, though.
Well, yeah, faster than a Manticore is my question at this point.
let me look up a horse's general movement speed in Dungeons and Dragons.
I think it's like 60, but
Is a Cyclops considered a beast?
No, it'd be like it would be a humanoid or a monstrosity.
Is a
I think
Manticore considered a beast?
a Manticore is
Monstrosity.
a monstrosity.
Monstrosity. Gotcha.
I was prepared to tell this Cyclops to leave us go.
And protect us and fight those Manticores.
So
but
the speed of a horse is 40 feet, so its dashing speed would be 80 feet.
We said a Manticore is longer than that.
I think these are like more like war horses than regular horses.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but these are constructs, so they're pretty normal horses. They're not going to be like super duper horses. Like riding horses, I think, or riding horses, it says are 60 feet, 120 feet dashing. So 40, I think 40, 80 is pretty generous for kind of dumb, robotic-ish horses.
Okay. Well, then we got problems, because we couldn't... Didn't we say the Manticore did 100?
It did do 100 dashing.
Well, you see,
That Manticore will be able to catch up to you at some point.
but we don't know that.
You don't, I mean, it's hard to know.
I know, it's hard to know what we would know. Because I feel like, yeah, we would try to escape on these horses.
Yeah.
I thought we would bunker down in the house.
You're cheating.
I'm just looking at the picture.
That's called cheating.
I'm looking at the picture.
Cheating.
It's ugly.
Yeah, the Manticores are very ugly.
Well, what was the CR while you're cheating?
I didn't see it.
Don't
I just
look.
wanted
I
to
was
look at
just
the
kidding.
picture.
It's 3. But you
Well-
don't know.
Well, yeah, well, and the Cyclops is on its way, too.
Yes, yeah, there's totally a Cyclops. He's going to be at you in a couple rounds.
How many people can get in a cart?
There are 3 carts, and
Could we get in 2 carts? Is what I'm asking.
I mean, wouldn't that slow you down?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I'm thinking that we
Once his first car
Three-
gets loaded, I'm taking
3
off.
carts, each one has room for 4 people each.
Robbie
So
already...
a dozen people, but you guys are 11 people.
All right, Robbie loaded... What was Robbie's turn? He helped kids get into the cart.
Yeah,
so
I loaded kids
did,
up in the cart.
So
How
what did
many
he
did I
actually
load?
accomplish?
You loaded kids in the cart.
All of them?
I mean, yeah, they're all with you and getting in into their multiple carts.
All right, well, then I hop in our cart and I take off on my turn.
All right. And Chuck, I assume you're also in a cart taking off?
so all the kids are with him.
This is basically a dash action by everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody is running
We're
out of
trying
the
to- we're
building,
trying to
and you are
escape.
frightened and you are scared.
I just want to make sure we don't leave anybody behind. So
Yeah, you're
I
not.
get in a cart.
And you guys take off. So here's the thing: is you guys are running deeper into the island.
Because we're going north.
Yeah, you guys are running north.
Yeah.
Train.
You guys are heading north straight into the forest.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See?
We're gonna get some cover.
And as you guys are getting close to the Manticores are starting to gain on you, but you start like more and more trees start picking up around the path, and they start backing off just a little bit.
When we start heading into the tree area.
Yes.
Okay. They start backing off. All right.
Is this ogre still chasing us?
The Cyclops could not keep up
Cyclops.
at all with
Okay.
you guys.
Okay.
Keep heading into the forest. It's backing off.
Well, gentlemen, he is probably... Those flying creatures probably are afraid of something in here, or they just know not to swoop down in here because they'll hit these trees.
As you guys get into the forest...
Let's ask Luann, Luis.
Where are we headed?
Wait, yeah, what is this area?
This is... I mean, this is the forest region, and up on our right are bugbears.
Bugbears. That sounds pretty small. We can just squash them underneath my shoe.
Yeah, just little bears that are the size of bugs. We can handle that.
That's not at all what... I'm sorry. So bugbears are like smart, big... Actually, right? Smart, big, furry bears, right? Yeah.
Huge bears.
Yes.
They're not small. You can't smush them with your boot.
Then why would anyone name them a bug?
It's a very confusing name. It's terrible. Blame Gary Gygax.
You said their intelligence? Do they speak? Can we reason with them?
As much as you can reason with an ogre.
How much can you reason with an ogre?
Not very well. She actually says, "All right, let's slow down a bit." As the manticores have kind of pulled back because they can't fly towards you because of the thickness of the trees. And this forest is getting thicker and thicker and thicker. There's, some low-laying fog kind of creeping in. All of a sudden, you guys hear a horrible, horrible shrieking sound. Roll for initiative.
That is the most horrible shrieking sound I've ever heard.
I rolled a 10.
Total?
Yeah. 10 total. 6 plus 4. 10. Some real stinkers here.
Yeah.
I'm just going
Robbie,
to point
what'd you
this
get?
out, Casey, before we get too far. My favorite terrain as a ranger is a forest. So,
This is your-
since we're in an
Robbie,
area
what'd you
of
roll?
forest,
6 total.
I'll probably be throwing out some stuff out there.
What did whatever these are? What'd they get?
16.
Okay, they're second behind me.
Can I do any sort of check to see if I recognize the sound as a monster slayer?
Oh, sure. What do you think that would be?
History, just kind of looking back into the past. I don't know.
Sure.
It's not my best, but I'm just trying to think of something. Oh gosh, I rolled a 2 plus 1. I don't recognize this call.
So, followed by the sharp shriek that you hear, there's a lot of excitement in that first sound. And then it's, as you guys draw your weapons, and I assume at this point you guys have probably put on whatever armor and things you guys took, like while you're riding.
Yeah.
Will you give us attunement or no? Probably. I don't know how long it took to get to the forest. Probably not.
Yeah, that's not going to be long enough for attunement. Yeah. You guys are going to have some kind of downtime for that.
Yeah.
So you guys first hear shrieks. You guys hear sweet songs being sang, like big, big, beautiful birds dropping down from the trees are these creatures that their body, legs, and wings are of a vulture, and the torso, arms, and head of a human. They have talons and a bone club, and their eyes are absolutely cruel and evil looking. And Louise says, "Harpies." Who's first up in the order?
I am. But, I mean, is there anything within striking distance of us? I don't know the scene, really. Like, bugbears and
So-
harpies just in the air?
There are no bugbears. There are just harpies that drop down. They're probably about 25, 30 feet away, and your carts are still moving forward, technically. So you could try to maybe run. You could try to... There are 2 on one side, 3 on the other. So 5 total. 2 to your left, 3 to your right, as you're moving through the woods.
As a hopefully free action, I'm going to ask him, V, if he knows anything about these.
No.
Okay.
I mean, well, I guess.
Do you want to roll or anything?
No.
So they're directly ahead of our path?
No, they're just on both sides of you.
All right. Well, if they're not directly ahead of us, I'm going to just say, book it, and just try and dash straight ahead as quickly as we can, I guess.
Let me ask you a question, Casey. With him asking me a question like that, would that be something where I would roll a check to see what I know about him? Or is it you just going off of Chuck's memory of like harpies? Like,
No.
you know what I mean?
It would be a check. It'd be a
I know
check.
plenty about harpies, but my character would know nothing. Yours
That's what I
might.
mean.
Yeah.
Like, and it's been a while. Like, that's what I'm trying to think. Like, I'm sure I've dealt with a lot of creatures in my past, but I'm sure I haven't seen all of them.
Yeah, make a nature roll, or
That's what I'm saying. Like, should I do like a check, like nature or something, or? All right. 19.
there you go. So now that you've seen them, you recognize them as harpies, and you know that to hear their song. So, like, the first screech you heard was kind of like an attack, like a coordinating kind of thing. But when a harpy wants to sing beautifully, they can. And to hear their music is absolutely charming and enchanting. And you do not want to fall prey of their luring song.
I would. So with him asking me that question, I would immediately say, "Cover your ears. Don't listen to their songs."
Yes, exactly.
Reid will be like, but it's so beautiful.
I'll tell the kids in my cart, cover your ears, cover your ears. And then I will cover my ears and then try and dash ahead, I guess.
Okay, so you're just telling the cart to move forward.
Yeah, as quickly as I can, because again, they're not in front of us. I guess we'll try and outrun them. I don't know.
So as you guys are moving and dashing the carts forward,
The harpies are next on the list.
I'm sorry, they're next on the list for moving.
Yeah, it's their turn after mine.
Cohen Riva, the dark and moody 12-year-old, the little emo kid, he stands up in the carriage and he's just like, it's beautiful. It's wonderful. And he just jumps right out the side of the moving carriage and kind of rolls into the ground as the carriages are darting forward.
Whose kid was that?
Yeah, whose carriage was that?
Crap.
We can roll
I would
for
say
it.
no. I would say it was Reid because he's like, but it's so beautiful. He didn't tell his kids to cover their ears.
Oh yeah, you should.
That's on you.
I like the
This is
idea
on
of
you.
rolling for it more. Oh, man.
You shit the
All
bed,
right,
Reid.
so Reed's carriage is in the middle?
Reid
Or is he in
carriage
the
actually
back?
was in, he was in the first cart because I would assume that I'm the first one that got
Yes,
outside.
so yes, you were in the first cart, and that kid just straight up jumps out as he's transfixed about it.
Why is your character always the screw up?
It's,
It wasn't me, it was my kid. Hey,
Control your kid.
I'm going to go at the second cart to pick him up. Yeah. Keep rolling.
Oh my god.
Just grab him on your way through. Pick him up.
there's movement through the bushes and the trees and things as they are moving closer towards you, and definitely descending upon that child. They're not there yet, but they're They're moving around in the woods.
Can't leave.
Was that
them there.
their turn?
Yeah, that was their turn.
All right. Next.
Singing and trapping a kid.
Chuck, you're up.
I'm up next.
Yep.
You rolled lower than me.
Robbie did.
Well, I'm not gonna leave that kid. Am I at a point where I can try and swing, like pass by him with my cart and reach over and grab him and lift him up? I'm gonna try and do that.
He's like, well, you'd have to. I mean, he's maybe like 15 feet away at this point. Like he's off the path.
Oh, he's fit, so he's far away from the car. Okay.
I mean, far enough that you'd have to jump out and get him, or use some sort of magic to pull him in.
I'm not gonna leave a kid behind. I'm gonna whip my cart to a halt. Tell all the kids in my cart, whoever's in my cart, to cover your ears and get underneath it, and run to jump
You
off.
mean get down? You don't want to actually climb underneath the cart.
Well, just take cover, basically. Just take cover, cover your ears, and I'm going to jump off and go and grab Cohen and try and pull him back towards the cart.
Yeah, so you run out there and you grab his arms and you see his eyes, and they're just like, they're wide and they're black and they're completely transfixed onto something else, and you really have to pull him hard, and he's kind of fighting with it. Give me like maybe like a strength or athletics check or something to pull him in.
Strength or athletics?
Yeah, or maybe just strength, like just a strength check.
Strength check, athletics, +2. A 4.
He wriggles away from you.
I'm the weakest character every time. He's a greasy kid, isn't that in his description?
Yes. He's very greasy.
He's greasy.
His greasy little arms.
So you hop out, try and get him, and pull him back, and you're gonna end your turn, like basically trying to pull this kid in, and he's resisting you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great, Robbie, you're up.
Did you go yet?
I was first. I thought we were getting out of here, and then Robbie's kid jumped out. So it's like,
Kid, screw! I can't leave a kid behind.
no, I'm with you. If I had known that was gonna happen, I wouldn't have dashed out. But forgot Robbie is ineligible to handle children. So
Oh my goodness.
what do you got, Robbie?
I don't know what I got.
Yeah, it's hard to know like where what our opponents are and where they're at. Are they within? Can he like go attack one or no?
Yeah, actually, at this point, they're probably maybe like, it's hard to see them in the bushes and things, but they're maybe like 40 feet away off the path. So they're within strike. Like this next turn, like they're gonna start hurting people if you guys don't get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's 2 on the left, 3 on the right.
So Matt, you're after me?
Yeah, I'm next.
Okay. I'm gonna do a bonus action. I'm gonna give you some bardic inspiration.
Okay.
I'm gonna slow down my wagon. The closest creature I see, I'm gonna cast vicious mockery on them.
Okay, yeah, you see someone you see one of the harpies getting close to V and Cohen. Right, that's his name?
Yeah.
Cohen. Yeah.
Cohen Riva, and yeah, you can cast Vicious Mockery on that.
Alright, you gotta take a 14 DC Wisdom save.
It hits it.
Take 1 point of damage, which is a lot. And then on your next attack, you're gonna have disadvantage with that character.
Alright.
All right, my turn. The one so there's another one that's coming toward them, right? Because it's on one side.
Yeah.
Or there are 2 coming.
They're on the left side, and there's 2 of them. There's one he just got hit with Vicious Mockery. Vicious Mockery, and then there's another one coming up kind of behind.
Okay. So the one that he hit vicious mockery with,
He mocked viciously.
I will hit the other one, or I will run and attack the other one. So for my normal attack, I got a 16.
Hits.
And I also have a bonus action that monks can use as a. My sword strike is one hand, and then with my other hand, I'm gonna give her a punch to the face, and that is a 17.
Hits.
So my sword is unattuned, so it is merely a d6. It does 6 damage. I rolled a 2, and then it's +4. And then my punch to the face is a D4. And that was a 4 plus 4, so that was an 8. My punch to the face did more than my sword.
So it was 8 for the punch, and what was the sword?
6. So 14 damage.
Yeah, so you, as all this is going on, you jump out of the carriage and you run in through the leaves and the woods and slice and just punch down a harpy, but it's definitely still kicking and hisses at you with its sharp pointy teeth and its ears and its weirdly naked body.
I'm suddenly, I'm sure that's scary as hell. I'm suddenly regretting my decisions in life.
Yeah. As you should.
Yeah.
All right, next up.
Harpies.
So the vicious mockery, the harpy that was hit with vicious mockery. Why is that so hard to say?
Vicious mockery.
The harpy that was hit with vicious mockery is going to try to pounce on the child. Just absolutely misses, right? Because that has disadvantage on that roll.
Right, that's right.
And the other one that was just slashed and punched at swings and misses with its claws.
I have 17 AC.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that one was
totally
swinging
misses.
for
Me.
Matt.
Yeah, swinging for
Ruckus.
Yes, Friar Ruckus, and there are the 3 on the other side. Keep singing. I need actually Robbie to go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw
Okay.
because I think the other people are outside of the hearing range.
Rolled a 20. Natural 20.
Hey.
I'm not good at rolling, if anyone wants to know.
You've only had one. It was great. So,
I rolled a 20 for initiative, too, a while back.
yeah.
Another one of the children walks out of the side of the cart to the right side. Who is it? And it is everyone's favorite, Aston Walsh.
Oh, the popular boy.
He is the athletic popular boy with the perfectly coiffed dark brown hair. And he's a nice, funny, bright kid. And he just his eyes kind of glaze over. And he pops out the side of the last carriage and starts walking to the right of the path.
Is that my carriage? I told those kids to cover their ears. They're not listening, following directions.
You're up, Chuck.
Well, I'm gonna,
So you have one right by you that's been mocked.
mock, yeah. I see that one's having difficulty.
You don't have any melee weapons, do you?
No, I don't. That's the thing. I see, that's what I was like, I see that one's kind of in a daze, so I'll use my focus to, I'm not very good up close in battle, so I'm going to pick out a harpy that's farther away. And...
I'm going to have to look. You might have disadvantage if you're firing with somebody else in melee range. I forget.
Really? Yeah, look it up.
Aiming a ranged attack is more difficult when a foe is next to you. When you make a ranged attack with a weapon, a spell, or some other means, you have disadvantage on the attack roll if you are within 5 feet of a hostile creature.
Nice. So, good memory. Good memory.
Never comes up.
Now, would that cancel that out since it has Vicious Mockery cast on it? That would
No.
be it wouldn't cast, so I would have disadvantage.
It's already kind of spent its advantage. It's already spent that disadvantage.
Yeah.
What do I do?
I mean, I would say disadvantage is better than
Yeah, I can't
melee.
fight it with my bow up close.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and shoot something else. I'm gonna take the disadvantage and just try and shoot.
Or you could take an attack of opportunity, move away, and then shoot it. I mean, I don't know.
I don't want to leave the kid.
Right, but
So-
that would hopefully kill it. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what? No. This is so hard. It's another game where you're like trying to worry about someone else. Because if that kid wasn't there, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm gonna step back.
Nobody wants to let a kid die.
and then
I know.
shoot it. You know.
Right.
Hey, you guys, guess what?
What?
I'm gonna kill some kids.
No.
I'm gonna kill some kids.
Friar,
I know, right?
Friar Ruckus is not letting it happen.
I'm just gonna shoot the. Can I see the one that Aston's walking towards?
On the other side?
Yeah.
Because there is you're thinking of like the trail and then the wagons and the other side.
Mm-hmm. If I can't see that, I would just aim for the closest one that I can see.
It's gonna at least have partial cover with like the other trees and the things in the way.
Gotcha. I would aim for the closest one that I could see.
Okay,
Doesn't matter which one it is. So.
There's the one right next to you.
And then there's the one right next to you.
Yeah, not right next to you, but very close to you.
Right next to him, then.
Yeah.
Ruckus, or Friar Ruck. Mm-hmm. So I'll aim for that one.
Right.
With disadvantage with my longbow, my oath bow. 10.
Yeah, you burn one of those arrows and it flies right by.
Keep an eye on
Barely.
it.
Damn. We're screwed. Robbie, you're up. Save this kid, Robbie. Save him.
Jeez.
How far is the kid from Reid and his cart?
Yeah, so you're in the front cart, so you could get to any of them and attack this turn on either side.
And then I leave my kids in my cart, though, alone.
The rest of us did it.
I think Casey. I think we're just gonna have to accept that some kids are gonna die.
No.
Hey,
Friar Ruckus is
Hey,
not.
guys,
trying
guess
to go
what?
for the perfect record.
I'm gonna kill some kids.
I'm going for the perfect record.
I'm going for the perfect record. So Reid will stop his cart, tell his kids to keep their heads down and cover their ears.
Finally.
He's gonna...
So there's one kid down to the right that has 3 harpies descending upon him, and then there are the 2 harpies and your 2 fellow heroes on the left.
We might have overcommitted to the left.
With a kid.
Yes,
We're protecting one kid and
With
letting
one
one kid
child.
walk to his death.
Right.
The one kid walking to his death, Reid will go grab him and bring him to a cart.
Nice.
So you need to make some sort of strength check to pull. The kid to the right is
Aston Walsh.
Yeah, he's the cool kid. The kid on the left is Cohen, who is the emo kid.
All right.
We made a mistake. He's going to be a necromancer.
So in the description of Cohen Riva, I made a joke and I said if he survives the island, he will one day become a necromancer because he is an emo punk. He's a goth kid or something. So
Okay, I was just
cool.
looking to see if I can use bardic inspiration on myself, but I don't think I can.
all right, are you gonna save Aston?
Yep, the kid by himself. Aston, emo Aston. Oh, strength check.
No, Aston's not emo. Aston's a cool dude. He's a cool dude.
8. Not gonna do it. Most
No.
likely.
What was that?
He was
rolled
trying
it.
to contest strength to get
Yeah.
this kid back in the cart.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you grab him and pull him back.
What? With an 8? Wow.
He's not.
He's a 12-year-old kid. You're the only weakling that
He's
can't
four-
pick up a
Aston is
12-year-old.
Aston's 14 and he's athletic.
And he's athletic, but he is just so spaced out that he's not even paying attention when you start pulling him backwards.
Dude, a 14-year-old boy with a beautiful song. He's
I'm
got one thing on his mind.
Yeah. So you pull him back towards the cart. But
Got a boner.
that's weird.
what?
That's not good.
He's got a boner.
We're gonna edit that out
What are you talking
real hard. We're gonna edit that out so hard.
real hard? What is on your mind?
Yeah. So
He grabbed him from behind, not the front.
Not the front. Everything's screwed up when Robbie let
Yeah,
his
I
kid
know.
out of the cart.
We were fine. We were making a run for it.
We were making a run for it.
Told you to cover your ears.
But the song's so beautiful.
Very beautiful song. If you were a bard too, you would listen to a beautiful song. Why didn't you grab the kid and pull him to the cart? Come on now.
He's greasy. He slipped right through my fingers.
I'm gonna start just playing my lute and then play it as loud as I can to cancel out the harpies songs.
This would be a lot easier if we had attunement, because my sword isn't attuned and my ring isn't attuned. Your ring isn't attuned. Is Oathbow?
My bow is not attuned.
Yeah, we're just like we got magic items that aren't magical.
Yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. We just need to rest.
Chuck, you got armor? I didn't get any armor.
I grabbed Elven Chain.
What do you got for us there, Casey?
So, as Reid Harpman is pulling Aston Walsh back to the cart, who has been entranced by the harpies, pummeling through the forest and knocking down trees in its wake, is a giant, two-headed, foul-looking, orcish beast that is absolutely just disgusting and stinking under long, stringy hair in an unkept mess and huge, giant lower jaw tusks. And Louise says, "That's an Etten. Let's get out of here."
They have a cave troll.
Thanks for sinking your teeth into Crit Sandwich. I'm truly honored you'd spend time with us. We are Crit Sandwich on Facebook, at Crit Sandwich on Twitter. If you like our podcast, please give us a review on Apple Podcasts to help others find us. If you have any feedback or would like to contribute to our random game roll chart, hit us up on social media or email us at critsandwichpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks.